Welcome to the Blaise Bryant Show as we're blazing through history one day at a time. Today is September 11th, 2020. Facebook.com/Blaisin History. That's BLAISIN History. Same with Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Normally, I read a script that outlines all the events that happen on this day, as well as the birthdays. However, I can't do that today because 19 years ago today, on September 11th, 2001, certainly, and I think safely say this for anyone that was born after Pearl Harbor happened in 1941, the most tragic day of our lives. And that was 19 members from Al-Qaeda. They took over 4 planes, 2 of them crashing into the World Trade Center, 1 of them into the Pentagon, and the other one in Pennsylvania. Nearly 3,000 people were killed. All 4 flights were on their way to California, and they did this intentionally. They wanted to take the flights that were on their way to California because of all the jet fuel that was loaded onto the planes. As you have probably heard, the first plane hit the World Trade Center at about 8:46 a.m. And here's how everything played out from 19 years ago today. This is courtesy of WCBS News Radio 880 in New York City.
Tom Kaminsky, Chopper 880.
All right, Pat, we are just currently getting a look at the World Trade Center. We have something that has happened here at the World Trade Center. We noticed flame and an awful lot of smoke from one of the towers of the World Trade Center. We are just coming up on this scene. This is easily 3/4 of the way up. Whatever has occurred has just occurred within minutes, and we are trying to determine exactly what that is, but currently we have a lot of smoke at the top of the towers of the World Trade Center. We will keep you posted.
Tom, we just saw that smoke go up at about the same time you did. It was like one huge pop.
That's exactly what we had seen. We had seen what we had turned around with Jeff. We were at the George Washington Bridge. We had seen a fireball, and I can tell you it appears as though something has gone into the World Trade Center. I'm looking at the north side of what I believe, what is the North Tower, so I would guess that's tower number 1. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is about 3/4 of the way up, maybe even 3/4 of the way up Tower 1. There is smoke now billowing out of the top of the World Trade Center. I'm looking at what appears to be broken windows. I want to say that this is about 10 stories down from the top, maybe a little bit more than that. But there now appears to be smoke pouring out of the gash of the north side of the World Trade Center. My heavens, this has just happened within several minutes. Let's try. We're going to try to get a little bit of additional detail about this. But currently, Lower Manhattan is, I would say, as of right now, going to be a big trouble spot, to say the least. The inbound side of the Lincoln, about a 30-minute delay. The Holland, about a 40-minute delay. Let's go back over to Craig Allen,
Tom,
WCBS. Yes.
Before we go to Craig, can we stay with you for a second?
Absolutely,
We're going to describe what we saw, because we have a distant view of the Trade Center from our studio here in Midtown Manhattan. What we saw was one giant plume of smoke, not a very dark color smoke, but a light color smoke.
It was all right. What we had seen, we were at the George Washington Bridge beginning to make our way south. We saw what appeared to be literally a fireball at the top of the World Trade Center. I am just coming up now and looking at the north face of the World Trade Center. It appears, at least from this vantage point, that something has hit it. Something has gone into the World Trade Center. I do not have that confirmed in any way, shape, or form, but there is a gash across, I would want to say, about 10 stories down from the top of the World Trade Center.
All right, Tom.
Sort of from right to left and making its way down. Yes, Jeff?
Okay, we're going to interrupt you here. We've found an eyewitness who's going to talk to us about what they see. Smoke at this point is billowing from that top eighth, let's say, of the one tower.
And now we've seen what it's like from the air in the word pictures of Tom Kaminsky. What's it like on the ground here? We have an eyewitness who's called us, who is on the way to work, driving to the World Trade Center. Hello, sir? Yes, what are you seeing?
I see a gaping hole at the top of the World Trade Center, almost to the top, not quite up there. I wasn't looking at it as I was driving towards it. I just heard a huge explosion. It seemed like it blew out as opposed to something going into it. And I'm looking at it real close now. Obviously, I'm not going to get there, so I have to turn around somewhere here.
How far away are you right now?
I'm 4 blocks away looking right at it.
Can you see the smoke coming from that hole?
It's a huge hole. There are flames. There's smoke. There's smoke on the others. You know, it looks like the impact was on the northbound side or something blew out on the northbound side. But I see smoke coming out on the southbound and the westbound side also. And it's the northbound tower that this happened in.
The North Tower is the one that's closer to Midtown.
Yes, that's right.
And where are you driving right now?
Well, I'm on West Street, so I'm looking right at it. I'm only 2 blocks away.
Yeah.
This is as far as I'm going to be able to go. I'm going to have to turn around somewhere.
All right.
WCBS
Thank you
News
for
time.
that.
8:52. Again, we're following as there is smoke coming from the World Trade Center, the top eighth of the North Tower. There's a gash apparently in the side of the building. And now WCBS News time, 8:52. We have
breaking news on WCBS 880 right here, right now.
I believe if we can get in touch with him, we have a witness who saw what happened at the World Trade Center. M. David Levin, are you with us?
I am right here at the foot of the World Trade Center on the north side. Smoke is billowing out of the, I would say it's about 15 stories down from the top of the number 2, I believe it is, World Trade Center. Flames are coming out also. This apparently was a commuter plane that smashed into it with such force that the windows of the Pick-a-Bagel, in which I was just about to buy a bagel, smashed with a big bang. Everybody was very frightened, and it sounded like a fabulous explosion. And indeed, there is great devastation up there.
What happened to the commuter plane? It looks from what we're seeing that it might have actually gone through one side and out the other.
I can't see the south side of the building, but it could well have been. It hit with such force that the whole neighborhood really shook.
Well, Tom Kaminsky may have a better view for us, David. He's in Chopper 880. What are you seeing now, Tom?
I think we can sort of confirm that at least to some degree. We are now looking at flames shooting out of the north side of number 1 World Trade Center, but there are at least some windows blown out and smoke billowing out of the opposite side. We have not been able to get to the south side of the building yet. We're sort of staying right here. We have a very good vantage point, so we're staying here for the time being. However, there is smoke billowing out of both sides, really of all 4 sides, it would appear, of World Trade Center Tower number 1. And as we've been saying, this is anywhere between 10 and 15 stories down from the top. Now, as you look at the World Trade Center, this is the building with the antenna on top of it. So there is quite a bit of flame now coming out of the north face of that building, and only smoke. I don't see any flame coming out of the other approaches, but I talked to our pilot, Arthur Anderson, and he says he did see something go into that building. We were at the George Washington Bridge and beginning to make our way south. I looked up and saw a fireball, but Arthur Anderson, my pilot, says that he certainly did see something right at that building, about 10 to 15 stories up.
The accounts courtesy of WCBS News Radio 880. As I was listening to this, which I have done a few times now, am just, you don't know. It's something that you can only imagine the horrors of seeing. And to kind of put this in perspective, at least for me, I mean, I was not even 10 years old when this happened. So my understanding of it now is, of course, far better than what it was 19 years ago. An interesting note about the Twin Towers is that they're meant to withstand 200-mile-an-hour winds, all sorts of damage-proof criteria. However, the Twin Towers collapsed because the burning jet fuel was so hot that they simply couldn't withstand the heat. This is a day that, we all came together. You heard songs like Where Were You When the World Stopped Turning, that September Day by Alan Jackson. I'm an American by Toby Keith. There's a Hole in the World Tonight, and countless others. This is a day that should be a national holiday. I mean, I have felt this way for a very long time. And this is a day where we need to be thankful for the countless police officers, firefighters, and civilians who went in there and saved as many lives as they could. And to be there to grieve with the 3,000 plus families who lost family members. And I don't even want to sit here and put an accurate death count on this, because there are still people who made sacrifices that are living with long-term health conditions because of their sacrifice, which, frankly, we can't sit here and thank them enough. It's a tough day. But we are a very resilient country. We bounced back, well, as much as we have been able to. I mean, think about it. We went into Afghanistan 19 years ago. We still have troops there. We went into Iraq 17 years ago. Still have some troops there too. This leaves an enormously indelible mark in our history. And I leave you with this question. Where were you when the world stopped turning on that September day? September 11th, 2001. Let me know. Facebook.com/Blaisin History. It's BLAISIN History. Same with Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and on YouTube, hit the bell icon to get notified of all the videos. If you have any memories you'd like to share, I would welcome those on any of the platforms as well. Thanks to Joy and Katie with all their social media help. Have a great weekend. See you back here on Monday, September 14th, where we'll be blazing through history one day at a time.